Station. This is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event.
Para Los Niños, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Special show in collaboration with NASA. I am Guillermo Quiroz, Solar System Ambassador. Thank you for joining us. We can all dare to dream. Se vale soñar. Today we welcome Para Los Niños Middle School for a trip over 250 miles above the Earth. In a few moments, we will be talking with Joe Acaba, one of the astronauts at the International Space Station. We welcome this opportunity as NASA's program, A Year of Education on a Station. Let's begin. First question.
What is your educational background?
First question.
What is your educational background?
First question.
Hello, welcome to the International Space Station. So my background, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in geology, and I think it's a great field to become an astronaut. You have to have a background in the sciences, engineering or mathematics. And as a geologist, you learn a little bit about all of many different fields of study. So I think it was great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that background helped you become an astronaut? All those subjects that you studied and helped you out?
Yeah, I think it helped me out. Again, you have to have a background in the sciences, and you know, one of the cool things about geology is, again, you learn a lot about a lot of different sciences, but you also have to be able to observe and analyze data, and I think those are all things that we do as astronauts every day.
When did you know you wanted to be an astronaut, and who inspired and helped you along the way?
Well, I'm not sure if there was any one moment when I knew I wanted to become an astronaut. My grandfather, who had very little schooling, really liked the sciences, and so he was always watching shows on TV about science. We would watch films of the astronauts walking on the moon. So I think a lot of that sparked my imagination and kind of that dream to become an astronaut someday. So I guess I can blame it all on my grandfather.
What are some of the mental and physical trainings that best prepared you for the space?
Well, this job is definitely mentally and physically challenging. So I was in the Marine Corps Reserves a long time ago, and I think that really, taught me a lot about not giving up and, just continuing and working very, very hard. So I think that really helped me out mentally. Physically, we have to be in pretty good shape when we come up here, not only to keep our bones and muscles strong while we're here, but if you go out and do a spacewalk, that's pretty physically demanding. So going to the gym, running, any type of exercise, I think is super important.
Since you do not have mornings, when do you wake up? What is your routine after waking up?
So we kind of do have mornings. We're on Greenwich Mean Time, which is about the time over there in London, England, and that's the time that we work on. And so my alarm, it wakes me up at 6 in the morning, and that's my morning time. And again, the day just kind of tracks on. So right now it's about 6 p.m., and so I'm getting hungry and getting ready for dinner. And so we get up around 6, around 7:30. We start working, and we work until about 7 p.m. And then we can start winding down, having dinner, relaxing, maybe watch a little TV. So it's a full day, and our morning happens every day right around 6 a.m.
Where do you get food, and are there any dishes from home that you miss?
So we get our food from visiting vehicles, cargo ships that come up here. And is there food from home that I miss? Yep, we have food that comes in packets. And as I look at this, what would be really good in this packet is some pollo guisado. So maybe we can try to get that put on the menu someday, because that would be really, really tasty to have right now.
How did you adjust to drinking water that has been recycled from other fluids?
Yep. So, we get the water straight from the source, and, we drink our water out of packets like this with the straw so it doesn't go everywhere. But, we all drink recycled water. You drink recycled water. Just for us, the source to where it comes out of the fountain is just a little bit closer. But I'll tell you, the water is it's really good. We test it often, and it's some of the best water I've ever had, and it's nice knowing that I contributed to making that water.
How many times a day do you sleep, and for how long?
So we sleep, again, kind of on a regular schedule. And so I'll go to bed right around 10 p.m., and then I'll get up at 6 a.m. So just once a day, kind of like you would do. If it's on the weekends, I try to sneak in a nap every now and then in the middle of the day. But in a normal work day, I try to get my 8 hours of sleep, going to bed right around 10 p.m.
What exercise do you do, and do you sweat in space?
So yes, we do have to work out every day for a couple of hours, and we have a few different machines that we can use. One of them is right here in front of me. It's a stationary bicycle, and so we clip our feet in there, and we just pedal right here in the middle of the lab. We also have a treadmill that's kind of on the wall, and so you get on there, and you have bungees that hold you down so you don't float away. And then we have a resistive exercise machine that it feels like you're lifting weights. And so with that, we can do all kinds of different leg and upper body exercises. And yes, we do sweat a lot when we work out here. And the thing is, the water doesn't just fall off of you like it does there. So when you sweat here, you get really, really wet, and your clothes have to take it. You have to have a towel. So yes, we do sweat a lot.
Can you stream music in space? If so, does the crew have dances they do to motivate or entertain each other?
So we do get music up here. Some of us will bring music up. They will send music up to us. And so we do, and we have some crew members up here that play musical instruments. But I don't think anybody up here is a great dancer. So if they try to dance, that's pretty entertaining. But yeah, we're not the best dancers. So luckily we don't do that a whole lot. Maybe if we change the music up a little bit.
Do you miss your family, and how much do you get to communicate with them?
Yep, I definitely miss my family. My parents and a brother and a sister, they live there in Orange County, so not too far away from you. And so I miss them a lot. But we get to talk every weekend. We have a video conference, and so they'll all end up going to my parents' house. I also have a brother that lives outside of Boston, So sometimes I have the conference with him, and sometimes we all come together and have the conference. So at least once a week, I'm getting to see my family, and then every now and then I'll call them on the telephone.
Do you have access to social media? If so, can you follow our school news team Twitter? SA at PLN News 835 hashtag F4F.
Nice. So we kind of have access to social media. We can't get direct to it, so we have someone that we can send stuff to, and then they can help us post it, or they can send us information back. So I'll have to pass that along, and then you guys should go ahead and then try to follow me as well at Acaba.
Okay. What advice do you have for us to stay motivated in our academics, and is there a personal quote that gets you through your toughest days?
Wow, that's a great question. So, things can get really hard sometimes, and what I would say maybe to motivate you is to figure out what you really love, have your dreams, and then work really, really hard towards those dreams. You don't have to be the smartest person out there, but there's no reason why you can't work really hard. So I would say just stay focused on what you want to do. I don't really have a personal quote, but when times are hard, I just kind of think to myself, don't give up and stay focused, because up here it can get really difficult, and even back at home. So don't ever give up. Keep your focus and follow your dreams.
What's the most surprising thing you've seen in space?
Well, everything is pretty surprising when you look at the planet and how beautiful it is. It's pretty cool. When you see the northern or the southern lights, the first time I saw that, it was pretty surprising. Something that's really surprising to see is when you go into this Note 3 behind me and you see somebody who's running on the treadmill, kind of on the wall, somebody who's going into the bathroom, kind of standing up like this, and then somebody working out from the ceiling. That's pretty surprising. But probably the most surprising thing is if I look in the mirror and I see myself, because I never would have thought I was going to be here. So I'm surprised every time I see that.
Have you ever caught a cold in space?
We're pretty lucky. So before we launch, we go into quarantine where we're kind of staying away from as many people as we can. So when we launch, most of us, you don't have a cold. You're launching very healthy. And since we're all up here and we're healthy, we don't really catch cold. So that's pretty cool. And I heard that this year was and still is tough flu season. And I'll be going home in about a week, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Do you experience extreme hot or cold temperatures in space?
Yeah, so inside the space station where I'm at now, we're pretty constant, right around, 75, 76 degrees, so it's really, really comfortable. But the space station outside, it does. If the sun is out, things get really, really hot. When the sun sets, it gets really, really cold. So it goes from about minus 150 to about positive 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So there is a really big extreme in the temperature depending on where the sun is.
What does it feel like to walk in space?
It's pretty exciting, and it's very, very cool. It's a great experience. But, we don't walk like you would think with your feet. A lot of it is just holding on with your hands as we go around the space station. But it's kind of weird when you go outside and you look down and you see the Earth 250 miles below you. It can be scary for a while until you realize, hey, I'm not going to fall. But it's a great experience, and I'm glad I've had that opportunity. and hopefully some of you will get a chance to do that as well.
What does astronaut food taste like?
I like the astronaut food. So I think I kind of pulled out my dinner for tonight. I'm going to have some beef ravioli, which is really, really good. And then I've got some shrimp cocktail that I've been putting in. It's been in the refrigerator all day, so it's going to be nice and cold. It's good. The menu's not really, really big, but I think the food is tasty, so I'm enjoying it.
Thing you're going to do when you return to Earth?
Wow, there's so many things that I want to do, but I've been living inside the space station, which is kind of like living inside of an air-conditioned house for the past 5.5 months. So what I'm really looking forward to is when we land and they first open up the hatch, the door to our Soyuz spaceship, and we can smell Earth. I'm really looking forward to having a breeze hit my face. Just getting back to Earth, I think, is the thing that I'm going to just appreciate the most when I get back. And then after that, it's eating a lot of different kinds of food that I haven't had for the past 5.5 months.
This is Guillermo Quiroz. What is the process that ISS used to create oxygen? What is the process that...
I think the question was how do we either process or get oxygen so we can fly some up, but we also have an oxygen generation system which uses the splitting of water, and we can create oxygen that way as well.
It's very important. How do you feel as Latino in the space? What advice do you give us to the new generation for Latinos of the United States?
Well, I feel very fortunate to be up here. I'm very proud of my heritage, where I come from, where my parents come from. And so, for all the Latinos out there, I would say, it's hard at times when you're a first or second generation and you're kind of living between maybe 2 or 3 different worlds. But I would say be very, very proud of who you are, where you come from. And there are so many opportunities. And for all you young people today, I'm really excited for you because it looks like you're making all the right steps, and just take advantage of those opportunities. Don't make excuses and just work really hard. And I'm sure a lot of your dreams are going to come true. I feel really, really good for all of you.
Thank you very much. That was our last question. We want to thank NASA for sharing so many interesting things. Before we go, we have a surprise for them. We welcome El Conservatorio de Mariachi of Sally Sign High School.
Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Sing along. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo, de contrabando. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo, de contrabando. Todos. Ay, 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 ay. Canta y no llores.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from Para Los Niños. Station, we are resuming operational audio communications.